Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news. I am George. In this video, I want to talk about what's going on, of course, with Bitcoin, the recent dip, the recent crypto dip, and a lot of people are concerned. And I believe this one man predicted it, and it's not a bad thing at all. In fact, it's a great thing, and that is going to be my main topic for this video. I think pretty pretty amazing because he called this out weeks ago, months ago, and it looks like it's happening now. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, I have my live streams on Friday, but I've decided to change it up to 11 today because I had stuff to do this morning, and plus I think generally later in the day towards noontime is a little bit better. Seems like more people tune in because of lunchtime. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe I just change it to 11 o'clock permanently. But welcome, guys. A lot of you guys that haven't participated in a while, I'm seeing some familiar faces. So thanks for tuning in. I don't know what happened to you guys before. Kind of ditched me, but I don't take it personally. I know it's been tough, and everyone's lives a little bit different now. But it is what it is, and we move forward. All right, so let's get started. Looking at a screen, Bitcoin is doing a little bit better today than last night. Actually, a little bit better now than even, say, an hour ago. So Bitcoin is closing in at 10,400 yesterday, and I believe this morning it dipped even below at as low as 9,800. Remember, there is a CME gap at 9,600. So it's a little weird that Bitcoin didn't fall. I mean, we were only 200 points away. Why it didn't actually reach that 9,600. So whether or not that's relevant going forward, I don't know. I mean, this was a perfect opportunity. Of course, Bitcoin can continue to turn lower this weekend, but it just seems like it's kind of weird that it tried, it didn't get it, and it continued back up. So overall, what you're seeing right now, if this continues on and goes further down, then it definitely looks like a Bart Simpson head, right? But right now we haven't completed a Bart pattern, and we'll have to see what happens this weekend and also next week. Right now, what I'm seeing is, and this is based on yesterday's video, there's a lot of things going on, right? So number one, let's look at this. Fear and greed index. This is a dramatic jump. Okay, or a dramatic dip or dump. We went from extreme greed just yesterday at 79 to 40 today. That's like half, right? All of last week, all of last month, last few months, everyone was extremely greedy, and it fell to 40 today. And that's why I think this is so relevant, because a lot of people are like, hey, what's going on? You have one big dip day, and then now the second day is still looking weak. Is there something broader going on here? Is there worry, right? So this relates to yesterday, and one of the big things that I mentioned yesterday is look at the broader market, all right? The broader market, the stock market tanked yesterday, Dow falling about 900 points, but not only that, S&P fell about 4%, and NASDAQ fell about 5%. And that was out of the blue, right? And today, the trend is continuing despite the fact that we actually received some good numbers. Payroll actually increased by nearly 1.4%, and unemployment dropped to 8.4% from 10.2%. So it's well below expectations, right? So with these kind of numbers, it shows that the economy is coming back, and you would expect the market to turn around, but it didn't. So why not? Well, someone pointed this to me yesterday, why this could have kicked things off. Dr. Fauci says everyone, specifically the Midwest states, needs to be on high alert over Labor Day weekend because of increased counts of COVID. A lot of people pointing this to yesterday's dip and today's dip. I don't think it is. I think at this point, people know that a vaccine is not coming anytime soon, that COVID is still around. People are still being careful. You know, if you go outside, you go to outdoor dining, wherever, you realize there's just not a lot of people out, right? People are taking this seriously. So I don't think what he said actually really caused it. So that brings me to the main topic of this video. This one man that predicted it, and it's actually very positive for Bitcoin. So who is this guy? Who is this mysterious guy? Is he a time traveler? Is he a Bitcoin time traveler? No, he's not Bitcoin time traveler. He's actually the former CEO of Prudential Financial, George Ball. You know, people who have George as a first name are extremely smart, in case you guys didn't know that. But anyways, this came out about a month ago. Actually, a little bit. Yeah, about a month ago. And this was a shocker because he came out, did an interview, and he admitted that he's always been a big Bitcoin bear. Okay, he didn't like Bitcoin, didn't like blockchain. He's always been a bear. And then all of a sudden, he tells everyone to go buy Bitcoin, like out of the blue. I mean, the interviewer was just like shocked, like, what? What did he say? And the reason why he said this is because he just doesn't like what's going on. He's like, this unlimited liquidity that's flowing into the markets right now, it's unsustainable. The governments can't keep up with it forever. And you're going to see that a lot of hedge funds and investors are going to start diversifying. They're going to get into things, not only like gold and silver, but also Bitcoin. They're going to reshuffle their portfolios. And what's stranger is, it's not stranger, but I mean, if you're in this industry, you would know. He pointed a specific date. He said it's going to be Labor Day. He's like, I expect the pickup on Bitcoin to be actually after Labor Day because that's when a lot of these fund managers start reshuffling their portfolio right before Labor Day. And guess what? Today is the weekend before Labor Day, right? So I think this is not a coincidence. He knows what he's talking about. And I think what's going on with the broader market, with the stock market, could be related to this, that people are unsure of what's to come next, right? We have the U.S. elections coming up. People are speculating whether or not, you know, if Biden wins, if that's going to crash the market, or if Trump wins, it's going to make the market continue to go up. People are just speculating, but people don't know, right? And we know that the stock market has been going up way too fast. This is the only recession, I believe, ever in history where the stock market actually continued higher and reached all-time highs in a recession period. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's because of what's going on, right? So why does George Ball think this? To quote, a couple of quotes, the liquidity floods will end sooner or later. Well-deserved. Wait, okay. The approach of the end of that road is going to be a lot closer by fourth quarter than it is now. Therefore, both traders and investors should and probably will realign their portfolios substantially. And then Ball says he expects to be a surge of Bitcoin buying after Labor Day. After Labor Day. The time to reposition portfolios is before the fuse is lit, or when the fuse has been lit but hasn't exploded yet. And Ball said, adding the time is probably now. So someone that's been in the game. Prudential Financial, obviously a big financial, it's the arm of Prudential Insurance. They're well known. He's in this space. He knows what he's talking about. And I believe what he's saying makes the most sense, that a lot of these hedge fund guys, Wall Street guys, they're repositioning their portfolio because they don't know what's going to happen come November and December and possibly going into next year if COVID continues to spread and maybe, you know, the phases, you know, we're in phase 4, phase 5 now. Maybe we go back to phase 3. There's going to be more quarantine and we don't know what's going to happen after the election. I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. There's a lot of uncertainty and these portfolio managers are reshuffling and they're preparing to buy Bitcoin. So after Monday rolls around, we could see a huge jump with Bitcoin. Who knows? But I think this is more plausible than all the other things that was mentioned before about why the market tanked because Fauci's bad news or COVID on the rise or the dollar on the rise. I mean, there's a lot of theories out there, but this makes the most sense to me. All right, so that is the main thing I want to talk about. I mean, even though, yes, Bitcoin has fallen, and it has fallen for the last 2 days, but overall, everything that Bitcoin has accomplished for the last however many months and years has not just been wiped out just because of the last 2 days, right? So I know most of you guys are used to this. You're used to these dips. These dips are nothing compared to the dips that we have seen before. 10%, 15%, 20%. No, these are not like those dips. Yesterday was about 6%, and this morning is up. So, I mean, so these are not the drastic dips that we have seen before, right? But what's a little concerning right now, and I mentioned this yesterday too, is not just Bitcoin, it's the DeFi space too. So that is also a little concerning at this point. So if you look at CMC, Bitcoin dominance went up slightly from yesterday. A lot of altcoins have started going down. The ones that have pumped up the most have been going down the most. Today, for example, Polkadot, that somehow just popped up in the top 10, now is down 21%. Tron, which I made a big deal yesterday, went up 41%. It was being pumped yesterday, and people were saying that, you know, all the DeFi projects left to Tron because high fees on Ethereum. That's not true. They were just being pumped. So they're down 16% today. And a lot of these projects, DeFi projects like Yearn Finance is going down. A lot of projects going down, right? And if you look at DeFi Pulse, the total value locked in has gone down from about 9.4 billion down to 8.5. They're still locked in. A lot of funds locked in. However, what's going on right now with yield farming, with these new tokens that's coming up, like hot dog coin or kimchi coin or pizza coin, spaghetti coin, and you have actors like Arthur Hayes that is promoting them, kind of like Portnoy, but he's doing it and he's pumping them up. I mean, these kind of things are really hurting, right? So really hope that this kind of phase, because this is even worse than the ICO craze. This is a lot worse in terms of what some people are doing, creating a new yield farm coin, getting it to pump up to wherever, to the moon, and then have it dump 99.9% within minutes. And that is happening, right? So this is a lot worse, and I hope that this kind of activity stops. This is not going to help the whole ecosystem at all. It's not. DeFi is, or hopefully the DeFi projects, the good project, continue to move forward, but hopefully you guys are not falling for all this shenanigans going on behind the scenes with yield farming and stuff like that. Not helping the environment one bit. What else is there? Well, I saw this. Chainlink Network was unsuccessfully attacked last weekend. So one of the reasons why Chainlink is so readily used and so many people use their oracles is because they have a robust decentralized oracle network, and they're really the only player in the game. Now, according to this, basically there was a large spam attempt, and this was during their conference, right? But they were able to shut it down, which is good. But the reason why this is important, because if Chainlink ever gets attacked, it's going to affect a lot of companies. So the hackers, obviously, they're hacking Chainlink not because, or they're spamming the Chainlink's network, not because they're going to gain anything from it. They're going to gain from the DeFi projects, the lending projects that utilize the real-time data, like price index from Chainlink. So if you're able to take down or slow down Chainlink, then those price indexes are going to be slow, and that's how hackers take advantage. And we have heard of that before. But that's the reason why so many people trust Chainlink right now, because they do have a decentralized network and it seems to be robust and scalable. And until another project that could provide the same, maybe like Band or someone else, Chainlink is going to be dominating this space, really. What else is there? I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover for today. I'll leave most of today for just Q&A for you guys. But overall, like in terms of the altcoins, that's not DeFi, right? The traditional ones, protocol coins, and just other projects that I've talked about before, some have been actually doing well. For example, Ethereum has also been doing very well. Ethereum is a project that I've always said I'm neutral on, and I much rather buy Bitcoin over Ethereum. But Ethereum has been doing well, even stronger than Bitcoin as of late, mostly because of DeFi. Because all these exchanges, these dexes, they only take ETH. And if people want to trade on, say, Uniswap or even SushiSwap, they have to use ETH, and it's helping Ethereum. However, the downside to that is Ethereum's gas price, from what I'm told, is insanely high. Insanely high. So it's definitely causing a lot of congestion right now. So I don't know if they're going to solve it. There's a lot of scaling networks for Ethereum, but I haven't really heard of any of these DeFi projects move to OMG or someone else. They're still sticking in with Ethereum. So we'll see. We'll see how this affects Ethereum going forward in terms of their network, but it is helping their price. It is helping the price. They were well above 400 recently. So let's take a look. Well, actually, before I get to that, and before I get to Q&A, I do want to mention, I forgot, I do have a sponsor, Energi, which has been doing a lot of things recently. I've covered them before, and they kind of fallen off, the radar a little bit because everyone is looking at DeFi, but they're one of the projects that continue to execute. They wanted me to let you guys know what they've been up to. Their most recent development has to be their Energy X DEX. Or I shouldn't say DEX, but it is an exchange. And it is no cost. It's not done yet. They're trying to get people onboarded. So if you're interested, you could definitely enter your email address, get early access. And the whole point of this is it makes it easy and free to exchange between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Energy, of course. And they're going to try to grow this in the future. But right now, that's what they're working on. And they're very excited in terms of pushing this out. But besides this, they also have this new thing called Energy Defense. And this is part of the reason why they have such a large treasury. And that's because they're able to use it for things like this. And defense, it's funny, they call it Energy Bureau of Investigations, EBI. But their elite team ranges from veterans of cybersecurity industries, from the FBI, CIA, and so forth. But what it's going to do is it's going to protect Energy's critical information infrastructure. They're going to provide educational materials on a regular basis to educate the community and ward off cybercrime. And they're going to assist in events or incidents that may occur. And they can work with victims and law enforcement and hopefully come to a resolution. So this is also something else that they have. And they also have this Energy Nexus, and this is basically to kind of explain everything in detail. Like the wallet, if you want to run a master node, which I'm told the RI staking rewards is about 29%. Staking is about 19%. So if you want to learn anything migrating from generation 2 or 3, you can find all the documents on here as well. And lastly, they have something called Energy Arcade. So you go to it, basically it goes to their Discord channel, and you can earn energy just for participating in games and activities and so forth, right? So it's your free way to get exposed to energy. So that's what they've been up to. I am going to put all these links in the description. I forgot to do it ahead of time, my fault, but I'm going to put all these in the description in case you're interested in checking out Energy. All right. All right, that's it. I'll turn to you guys for some Q&A now. Yeah, so ETH has actually been doing really well. It has fallen the last 2 days because of Bitcoin, but if you look at it, I have so many lines, so many resistances that I drew for Ethereum, and this goes back all the way, look at it. It goes all the way back to 2018. So that's how strong it has been. And you could see that it stopped at the latest one, 474, actually surpassed it and came back down, and it's utilizing this 359. You can see it's utilizing it right here as a support, and it utilized this many times. But Ethereum has been doing very well, much stronger than I expected. It took a little breather here, right, after it went above 360, but that's not a bad thing because now it's utilizing it as a support again. But you could see it went up to 474, and after that, I mean, it's, you go back to 2018, there's a lot of points, like here's one at 530, here's one at 630, here's one at 800, and as Bitcoin continues to rise, and as DeFi continues to rise, I do expect them to continue forward. Here's the thing about Ethereum. They now have a new thing to help them grow. And it's a weird situation because when I say that, it's going to help the price of ETH grow, but it's going to hurt the network tremendously. So that's going to be a problem. Just like in 2017, when Ethereum started exploding up, guess what happened? It spurred up, ICOs, and people got rich off ICOs. They made a ton of money, and guess what? It was like a snowball effect, right? They take their money and invest in another ICO, invest in another ICO, invest in another ICO, right? And all ICOs only took ETH at the time. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them took ETH, right? Which means if you want to participate, you had to buy ETH. You had to buy Ethereum to be able to participate. And I think that helped Ethereum in a big way in 2017. That's why it rose from, like $2 all the way to $1,500. So now with DeFi, it's kind of the same thing, because people that want to participate in a lot of these yield farming, tokens, they have to get them on a DEX that is only accepting ETH. So people that want to participate, they'll have to buy ETH to participate, right? So I think that's actually helping ETH, and it'll continue to help. If DeFi continues to grow, people start using, these DEXs and stuff a lot more. But the problem is, it seems like Ethereum can't handle it. It's just really having a hard time scaling. So as this continues, ETH could probably go higher, much higher, but then the network is going to get to a point where it's so congested, it's going to cost like $500 for a transaction. And at that point, no one's going to use it anymore. So I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I think a lot of these DeFi projects, or anyone that's on Ethereum, they need to move to a scaling solution right away, or move to a different protocol. Otherwise, it's going to get really bad. Do you see XRP? Well, I got some XRP fans here. Do you ever see XRP going up, or do you see XRP dropping below 20 cents? Well, XRP is the gift that keeps on giving if you like losses. So let's bring up, which one did I use before? I forgot which one I used. Let's use Kraken one. As you can see, it's following this pattern perfectly, and not in a good way. So since 2018, it has been making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. You could definitely see the trend line, right? It's very, very obvious. Now, recently, it did break through, which is very positive. However, it did not break through a previous high. The previous high was at 34 cents. So it came close, but it didn't, and it's falling back down. And if you just extend this line here, you could see that it did bounce back to this trend line. Now, the question is, can it hold here, or it's going to break below? If it breaks below, it's very, very bad for XRP. If it can bounce off here and continue higher, then it's very good. But we'll have to see. But XRP has been, very difficult to say the least, right? While Bitcoin, while other altcoins have rallied off their bottoms, XRP just really doesn't seem like it's rallying at all. So we'll have to see. And I happen to come across this informative video about XRP, because there's so many people that's asking about it. People want to know more about XRP. I found this very informative video. Let me play it for you guys. Hold on.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
Did that help? Hopefully that helped. I think that's pretty informative. Don't you guys agree? Nulls. Let's look at Nulls. So Nulls is getting into the DeFi space a little bit, but they've been concentrating on a Nerve network, which is basically their interoperability network between different cross chains, blockchains, I should say. So looking at Nulls, unfortunately, their price action recently is not good at all. You could see, because of what happened with Bitcoin and the whole, dip yesterday and today, yeah, that's a major sell-off. So there's some people that just lost their nerve and decided to sell off Nulls. But it did go up quite a bit from its bottom, and it was hovering between this range pretty good, 54 cents and 44 cents, until yesterday happened. Now it broke through below, and we'll have to see what happens. Nulls, just like Energy that I covered, they're still executing. The big thing is Nerve. They're still involved. Their new staking mechanism, SCO, is still working. A lot of projects is coming on board, and SCO is a really easy way for you to basically stake your nulls and not have to sell it and earn tokens of these new projects, right? So it's a very unique way of doing things. And they are introducing, I believe, I forgot what it's called, Fern, I think. They're introducing a DeFi project that's coming on board. I forgot the name, but they're executing. Unfortunately, you just have to wait longer for them to come up. Right now, they're considered an ultra small cap, and not a lot of people are looking at it. Everyone is trying to find the next DeFi that's going to pump up 1,000,000% in a day, unfortunately. And those are the ones that burn people the most. So unfortunately, that's the case. So I still believe in nulls. Just got to give them time to come back. Is there a CME gap at 3,500? No, I don't believe so. The last one I heard of was 9,600, and it's just funny that Bitcoin didn't hit it this morning. I mean, it was only 200 points away, so I don't see why. Or maybe it did. Let's zoom in a little bit, because sometimes you don't see the very bottom. So it went as low as 98.96, at least a 15-minute chart. 1 minute. Yeah, it didn't go any lower. Too bad. Too bad, because some of these really quick dips, maybe if it goes to 9,600 back, we would have just filled it. But so it's kind of strange. I didn't try to fill it this morning. So, oh well. Oh well. I don't know anything about Flare Network, but let me take a look. Well, I guess their name is not Flare. What is this? This is like a blog. Why is there like all these pages? Flare.xye, Flare.network, and there's like no information on any of them. What is going on here? "75% of value of blockchain tokens is inaccessible to decentralized applications, as that changes now, starting with XRP, the world's first turning complete FBA network. Scalable, doesn't base safety on a native token, no risk of safety, integrates Ethereum virtual machine, deep pool developer time." Okay. I don't get what it is. Collateral for trustless insurance of assets from non-Turing complete chains, starting with XRP, contributes to a Flare time series. Contributes to Flare time series Oracle network governance created by utility fork of XRP. I still don't know what it is. So it's bring smart contracts. Basically, it's a network that brings smart contracts using Ethereum's virtual machine to XRP. Okay. Potential to use XRP with real DeFi projects such as okay. I don't know. Quickly looking at this, their webpage is horrible. It gives horrible information. And I'm not a fan of XRP and smart contracts on XRP. I don't think that's what XRP should be used for. So, I don't know. Take that as take that with a grain of salt, because I don't know enough about the project to really speak on it, but those are my initial thoughts. Real diet, I think if we were going to, we would have already. I think this morning when it hit 9,800, it should have. The fact that it didn't and climb up, I don't think we're going to see it this weekend. I just don't think we will. Am I yield farming on Tron? No, I'm not yield farming at all. I think yield farming right now is the biggest, the biggest thing that hurts crypto right now. I think there's too many people that's getting burned by it. They don't truly understand it. Neither do I, honestly. It is. It is. You know what's going on is basically there's promises. So I was looking at like hot dog and kimchi. So they were offering 1,000,000% APR for basically staking on there. So they're trying to steal. They're trying to make it so enticing that you're go, basically make a ton of money just staking on there. But the thing is, they can't. It's not sustainable. It can't be. They can't pay out that much. So there's just a lot of inherent risks with it, and unfortunately, people are falling for it, or maybe just a few select is falling for it. Because I don't really know anyone else that's participating in yield farming. So I don't know. Is DeFi coins the new BitConnect 2.0? No, see, you can't confuse yield farming to everything else in DeFi. Okay, DeFi is a broad term. DEXs are now considered DeFi. DEXs existed before the DeFi term was even coined. And they have been around forever. And they're considered DeFi now, right? So DeFi, a DEX that's popular is good. It takes away from the centralized exchanges, which a lot of people complain about, like Binance and Coinbase. So that's actually a good thing. So that is totally different from yield farming. Same thing with Chainlink. Oracles are considered in the DeFi space because they provide a service to them. So they're definitely a good thing too, right? So you can't confuse all DeFi with one thing. And same thing with lending companies. Even though lending companies are taking collateral and lending out, but ultimately what they're trying to do is take power away from the banks, which I think could be a good thing. So again, don't confuse all the bad with all of DeFi. That's not the case. I have social distanced myself from yield farming. 2020 problems. Yes. Of all the problems, somehow yield farming is a problem. It's just a funny name too. Try to explain that to your friends. Like, hey, there's a new thing now called yield farming. And they're like, what? Just one of those things. It's really funny. A lot of DeFi coins are scammed. They pay huge APR interest rates. Well, that's true. But then if you look at it, if you extend what you just said, well, a lot of altcoins are worth billions without providing any kind of usefulness to them. So does that mean they are a scam too? So again, try not to be too generalized because if you do, you might not like the answer that you find. Tesla and Apple are not collapsing. Look at the year chart. It's just a pullback. Of course, they're not going to wipe out all gains. I mean, 2 days of downturn is not going to wipe out all gains for the past year. Of course, that's not going to happen. But I think George Ball, a brilliant guy, because his name is George. And what he said, makes a lot of sense. A lot of people, not just him, a lot of people are afraid of what the U.S. government is doing, what Mnuchin is doing, what Powell is doing. And for the first time, the U.S. is going to allow inflation to go above 2%, which it hasn't, I think, ever. And people just don't like it. They know this is not sustainable, so they're trying to hedge against that. And according to George Ball, what a lot of fund managers and portfolio managers, what they do is they reshuffle what they have right at Labor Day. So I don't think it's a coincidence now that yesterday and today we're seeing some drops because people are probably selling off. They already made a ton of money. They're selling off. They're going to be rediversifying, and we could see the effects of that next week. So Bitcoin could be skyrocketing next week, at least according to George Ball, because he's saying people should buy it before Labor Day. So we'll see. We'll see who's right. We'll see who's right. What do you think about Fetch AI? It's the only coin that has artificial intelligence in its title. Are you kidding? Is that why you think it's good? Because it has AI in the name? I hope you're kidding about that. You need to make a Tesla news video on your other channel since Tesla stock collapsed. I created one about Tesla stock, and it seems like no one cares about Tesla stock on my Tesla news channel. So I'm not going to concentrate on that. I'm going to concentrate more on just Tesla news in general. But Elon Musk did recently become the third richest person in the world due to Tesla stock, which has gone up 500% within a year, but it has come down since then. But that's pretty crazy. He was not even close. He was like top 100, and all of a sudden he shot up to top 5. But anyways, yeah. Anyone buying the Yearn Finance dip, please do not. Stay away from it. I think the only reason why it went up so much is because Arthur Hayes was pumping like crazy on his Twitter. He was saying it should go to 100,000 and getting everyone that followed him to pump it up. So it's not natural. It's definitely not natural, and you gotta be careful. All right. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna end today's session a little bit early. So Bitcoin is recovering from yesterday and this morning. Another dip down to the 9,000s. Didn't hit 9,600. Came back down. Came back down to 9,800 and came back up. Now it's climbing back up. The rest of the market, the broader market, stock market, is recovering a little bit. So it does seem like moving into this weekend, we could have a good recovery. But I think the one man that really predicted this is George Ball. I think what we saw with the sell-off yesterday and today, I think it has to do with fund managers, portfolio managers, investors. They're getting ready to reshuffle their portfolios. They're trying to prepare of what's coming. And it's really hard to prepare for what's coming with COVID cases still on the rise, with the election, and with the second stimulus package, with Powell increasing inflation above 2%. There's a lot of uncertainty that's happening, right? So according to George Ball, a lot of these guys, they're going to be reshuffling. They're going to be looking at hedges. And Bitcoin is one of them, which is why he tells people to just go buy Bitcoin. It's a complete 180. Complete 180. Quite interesting. All right. I did promote this yesterday. I'll promote it today. I did pin it to the first comment of this video already. My other channel, my vlog channel. Go make it more interesting, a little bit more about my life, but I'm going to share some information you guys might care about. For example, this morning I did record a video about how I'm a little bit more diversified in 2020, how I'm handling my investments a little bit different than before. And if you're curious about that, then follow my other channel and stay tuned for that video. I should be posting that this afternoon or tonight, so in case you guys are interested. All right, guys, that is it. Thanks for watching. Hit the likes and subscribe to this channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys later next week. All right, bye-bye.